Tonight, when you close your eyes, something strange will happen. Your brain will build an entire world. It will cast people you know in roles they would never play. It will put you in places that don't exist. It will make you feel real fear, real joy, real grief, and none of it will be happening. You'll wake up and shake it off, maybe laugh, maybe sit with it for a moment, then you'll move on with your day. But here's what nobody tells you. The dream you just had was not a glitch. It was ancient software, running the same program it has run for 100,000 years. The question is, what was that program running before you existed? Researchers have been quietly pulling on this thread for decades. Kelly Bulkeley, a dream researcher at the Graduate Theological Union in California, has spent years studying dreams across cultures and across history. His conclusion is not what you'd expect. Dreams, he argues, are not random noise. They are not your brain dumping its trash. They are a deeply evolved system. And that system has been shaped by millions of years of pressure. Your brain does not dream in a vacuum. It dreams in the context of everything it fears, everything it wants, and everything it is trying to solve. Your ancestors were no different. They had brains nearly identical to yours. Same architecture, same emotional circuits, same capacity for terror and wonder. The only difference was their world. So what did that world hand their dreaming minds? Think about this carefully. For most of human history, there was no separation between you and the wild. There were no walls, no locked doors, no city lights to hold the dark back. When the sun went down, the world became deeply, genuinely dangerous. Leopards moved in the dark. Hyenas moved in the dark. Other groups of humans moved in the dark, and your ancestor, lying on the ground or wedged into a shallow cave, had no guarantee they would see morning. That is the environment in which human dreaming evolved. Antonio Zadra and Robert Stickgold, two of the world's leading sleep scientists, wrote an entire book about what dreams are actually for. Their answer centers on something they call memory consolidation and threat simulation. Your sleeping brain is not resting. It is running rehearsals. It is taking the emotional weight of your day, your fears, your social tensions, your near misses, and filing them, testing them, preparing you to handle them again. In a modern life, that might mean dreaming about a confrontation with your boss. In a life on the African savanna, it meant something far more urgent. Finn Salter, a cognitive anthropologist whose work examines prehistoric cognition, describes the ancestral sleeping environment as one of the most neurologically demanding in human history. You were never fully off. Part of your brain stayed awake even in deep sleep, scanning for sound, for movement, for the particular stillness that means something is watching you. Your dreams, he argues, were not just entertainment. They were threat rehearsal in the most literal sense. And here's where it gets strange. Because if that is true, if ancient humans dreamed primarily about predators, about danger, about survival, then what does it mean that you still do? You do. More than you realize. Dream researchers consistently find that the most common themes across all human populations, across every culture ever studied, are remarkably similar. Falling, being chased, being unable to move, being naked and exposed, losing your teeth, arriving unprepared, being attacked. These are not modern anxieties. These themes appear in dream records from ancient Egypt. They appear in the oldest written documents ever found. The Egyptians compiled dream dictionaries. The Assyrians recorded dreams on clay tablets thousands of years before the internet existed. And the fears inside those dreams look almost exactly like yours. Being chased was the most commonly recorded nightmare in ancient Egyptian dream logs, not metaphorically chased, literally, by animals, by enemies, by things that wanted to kill them. You still dream about being chased. Your predator was a leopard. Your predator is a shadowy figure in a hallway. Your brain does not fully know the difference. That circuit, the one that lights up when something hunts you, is so old it predates language, it predates your species, and it runs at night, when your cortex steps back and the older systems take over. But predators were not the only thing ancient humans dreamed about, and this is the part that changes how you see everything. Bulkeley's cross-cultural research shows something remarkable. Alongside threat dreams, humans across all recorded history have consistently reported another category: dreams of flight, dreams of vast landscapes, dreams of abundance, water, fruit, animals, warmth, dreams of reunion with the dead. Your ancestors lost people constantly. Hunters did not come home. Disease moved through camps without warning. And the people who survived, your direct ancestors, dreamed about the ones they lost, the same way you do. There is a woman somewhere in your lineage, 40,000 years ago, who dreamed about her mother, who woke up in the dark and felt for a moment that she was still there, and then felt the particular grief of waking up. You have felt that grief. You know exactly what that moment feels like. It is the same moment in a different body across an almost incomprehensible stretch of time. Dreams of the dead appear in every human culture. They are treated differently, as messages, as warnings, as blessings, as hauntings, but they appear everywhere. Because the brain that loved someone does not simply stop running that person's model when they die. It keeps generating them. In dreams, they come back fully formed. They speak. They are warm. They are exactly as they were. For an ancient human with no concept of the afterlife as theology, that experience would have been foundational. It may be, some researchers argue, the very origin of the idea that something continues after death. Not a philosophical argument, not a religious doctrine handed down from above. A dream. A dream so vivid and so real that the mind could not believe it was nothing. Your need for meaning, your instinct to feel that the dead are not fully gone, may have been born in a dream, in the dark, in a body very much like yours, 50,000 years before anyone wrote anything down. This is not small. Think about what that means. The impulse behind every ghost story, every ancestor ritual, every prayer spoken over a grave, it may trace directly back to the dreaming mind of a grieving human who simply could not accept the absence of someone they loved, whose sleeping brain kept generating them night after night because the model was too important to delete. Your brain still does this. If you have ever lost someone close to you, you know this is true. And you know it feels different from other dreams, more real, more present, more like a visit than a hallucination. The ancient mind would have agreed completely. Kelly Bulkeley calls this the continuity hypothesis of dreaming, the idea that dreams do not take you somewhere else. They take you deeper into where you already are. They reflect your waking concerns, your waking fears, your waking loves, amplified and distorted, but fundamentally continuous with who you are. And who you are is not that different from who your ancestor was, standing at the edge of a fire 40 millennia ago, watching the dark, preparing to close their eyes and face whatever the night brought. The threats are different now. The loves are the same. The losses are the same. The hunger for meaning is the same. Tonight, when you close your eyes, your brain will do what it has always done. It will reach for the things that matter most to you, the things that frighten you, the people you have lost and cannot stop carrying. It will build a world from that raw material and run it while you sleep. And somewhere in the world, an older version of you is still running, still watching the dark, still dreaming about something that wanted to eat them, still waking up and reaching for the person who is no longer there. The dream you had this morning was not random. It was ancient. It was yours. and it has been yours for longer than you can possibly imagine.